As a parent, don't you think you should have the right to know what your child is being taught at school? Hi, I'm Stuart Shepard, and this is First Liberty Live. Thank you for liking and sharing these videos. You're an important part of this project. We appreciate you and your interest in this, and also your interest in sharing it with your friends out there. Kayla Toney is an attorney with us here at First Liberty Institute. In just a couple of minutes, we'll also hear from the family involved in this case, but I wanted to start with you. Hi, Kayla.
Hello.
This is all about the right to opt out of lessons that are at odds with the faith of a family. Tell us about it.
Yes, absolutely. Parents do have a right to know what your kids are learning in school. And we represent the Encinas family, a wonderful Christian family out in the San Diego area. And they were shocked to discover that the elementary school had used their fifth grader to teach a kindergarten student about gender identity and gender transitions using a book called My Shadow is Pink. This was very concerning to the family, and when they asked to opt out of similar lessons, the school said no, absolutely not. And that's a problem because the Constitution protects parents' ability to raise their children in accordance with their faith without that being undermined by a hostile school district.
And this is part of an effort that's been going on for more than a decade of pushing that as a subject down into classes all the way down to kindergarten, not just in sex ed classes, but in English classes, math classes, etc. And now today we're seeing the reality of that. Carlos Encinas is joining us remotely. Carlos, tell us how you found out about this book. How did you first learn what was going on?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me, Stuart. So yeah, we were shocked when our fifth grade son came home from school and he told us that he was forced to participate in an activity with his kindergarten buddy involving gender ideology. Now, this is a subject that is absolutely against our Christian faith. And so we reached out to the school in this district and we asked to be opted out of this in the future. And we were denied that request. And they actually went and made us feel like we were part of the problem. And since our children we have two boys, they've been bullied so bad that we've had to send them to a different school.
It's one thing, and it's one level of this, to have your child being taught something you disagree with, and parents all over deal with that all the time. But this raises it to a whole nother level to have your child effectively teaching a lesson to a younger student about something that your family doesn't, it's at odds with what you believe in. It causes you to betray your faith just in the process of doing that.
Absolutely. And you know, this is something that my son really took to heart. He knew that this kindergarten buddy, by the way, they spend all year with their kinder buddies. A friend of his that looks up to him, you know, he's 5 years old. And so for them to use that friendship, that mentorship to disseminate this type of information was just really offensive, not only to him, but to us as a family. Absolutely.
What would you like to see happen? What would be a good outcome for this?
Well, we want the school in this district to be held accountable. We want parents and kids to have the freedom. First of all, we want them to be protected and also given the freedom to opt out of any of this in the future. We know that it's difficult to just simply pull your kids and have them switch schools. Not everybody can do that. It's difficult, but we want parents to know that we're fighting for all parents and kids that don't have a voice in this matter.
I appreciate your boldness in sharing this story, and we will be cheering for you as this case moves forward. I want to turn back to Kayla now and ask, what is First Liberty doing? We got involved in this. What are we asking for? What are we trying to do?
Yes, well, we are in federal court in California, the Southern District, and we're filing a complaint, which is a federal lawsuit against the school district and the officials who chose this book and also who refused to allow families to opt out. We represent the Encinases and another family that is remaining anonymous because we want to protect their privacy. and their identity. And we're asking the court for a unique kind of relief. It's a fast track because we realize that the students need protection right now. One of our clients is still at that school, and he's going through his school year, and he needs to know that the school is going to notify his parents and give him the opportunity to opt out if this topic comes up again. And so that's what we're asking. We're asking for the court to step in soon, even this fall, and provide that protection for our clients, but also for other students of all different faiths who, their parents want to know what they're learning and want to have that opportunity. And the interesting thing here is that the law is really on our side. So the First Amendment protects students' ability to speak according to their faith, and it also says that you can't force a student to say something that goes against his faith, and that's really what happened here.
Help us understand, what are the rights of parents in this kind of case? What does the law say that parents can do? What should they be hearing? What should they be asking for?
Yeah, well, it does depend a lot on which state you're in. So California actually has some pretty strong protections for parents, and one of them says that any teaching in health class that conflicts with religious beliefs, the parents have to receive notice and the opportunity to opt out. Now, the problem is the school district is defining that very narrowly to include just one unit of sexual education, and not all the other places where they're trying to sneak it in.
And that's not accidental.
Correct. Yeah. But the law does say broadly, any instruction in health that conflicts with religious beliefs. And then you also have the federal protections of the Constitution. You've got the Free Exercise Clause, which protects parents' ability to direct their child's religious upbringing. And then you've got the Due Process Clause, which says that parents have a right to raise their own kid without the government interfering. And so if you look at those rights together, and that's really our approach, is to bring these claims together to show how really multiple parts of the Constitution fit together to protect parents and students' ability to exercise their faith, and then also to refrain from participating in things that go against their faith.
Yeah, Carlos, you're living through this right now. What's your advice for other parents who may be seeing work coming home with their kids or books showing up in their backpack that trouble them? What do you suggest?
Well, first and foremost, just to be aware and be involved. Get to know your teacher, ask the questions, and be direct. Maybe be specific as to if you're in our district, whether or not certain books are being read, or is there videos that are related being taught in these schools, especially if there's a similar mentorship program. And really just being involved is going to make a big difference.
A lot of parents, many months would go by before they'd ever even realize something had happened.
Yeah, that's a great point, Stuart. In fact, if our son hadn't raised this with us, we would not have been aware, because this was actually omitted from the weekly recap the teacher puts out. That weekly recap is fairly detailed. It talks about all the activities, all the books, and all the things that they're doing, projects and what have you. And this was left out of that. So you really have to be ultra aware and ask a lot of questions.
Right. Well, we appreciate you, and we will be beside you through this whole process. Kayla, anything else you want to share before we go?
I just want to share again how blessed we are to represent these courageous clients. They're really standing up for their own kids, but also for all of your kids, to make sure that you know what your kids are learning in school, and that your faith is something that you're able to continue teaching your kids without the school interfering. That's really our heart here at First Liberty, is protecting religious freedom for everyone, and we think that especially applies in the schools.
All right. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Carlos. If you want to see America's religious heritage defended, you can make that happen by supporting First Liberty Institute. Just go to firstlibertylive.com and look for the big red donate button up at the top of the homepage. First Liberty is fighting for what matters most.